What's up everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. And so today's video is super exciting because we are going to be talking about what admissions officers actually see when they are reviewing your college applications. So if you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Rachel. I graduated from UC Berkeley in the class of 2020, where I double majored in cognitive science and legal studies. Now, post-grad, I'm currently working full-time at a law firm, and this past admission cycle, I was an undergraduate external admissions reader with UC Berkeley. So if you're a student applying to colleges soon, you should definitely check out Study Hall College Consulting. It's a team of myself and other UC Berkeley grads where we specialize in reviewing college application essays as well as consulting one-on-one with students and parents. So make sure you check out our website and social medias for tons of tips and tricks. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Like I mentioned in the start of this video, this past admission cycle I was an external undergraduate admissions reader with UC Berkeley. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about today relates specifically to my experience as a Berkeley undergraduate external admissions reader reading the UC Personal Insight Questions, also known as PIQs. If you are unfamiliar, the UCs, the University of California Public Schools, they have an entirely separate application that is different from the Common App. So where my experience and information for this video comes from reading the UC applications, I'm going to probably bet that a lot of what we saw as reading for UC Berkeley is probably very similar when they're reviewing the Common App, because a lot of the information you're inputting as the student applying is very similar whether you're on the Common App or the UC application portals. Let's break down the different components of what the admissions officers can see, and then we will go into each one and I'll explain them a little bit. So the different tabs on your application, you have the student profile, a school profile or school profile PDF, you have your academic profile, you have your exams, you have your grades, you have your activities section, and then you have your essays, PIQs for the UC application, and for the UC, if you are asked to provide letters of rec, they would appear after the PIQs. So those are the different sections that the admissions have access to. They appear as like tabs on the side of your screen where each section is its own page, and then you can click between these different tabs to see the different information that you want to look at. So let's jump right into the first tab, which is the student profile. The student profile is basically all of the information that you're inputting to the Common App, the UC application, all of your basic information, things like your parents' jobs, your parents' education level, the income that your family is making. So that's family information. Student information could include where you were born, your residency, your first language, if you are in foster care or have been, if you have served in the military, or if you have any tribal affiliations. So sometimes all of this information, especially the information about your family, their income, their jobs, it's not always required, so you could leave those places blank on your application, but basically for the student profile section, it is trying to help the admissions officers gain a better insight into who you are and where you are from, your background, and your circumstances growing up. So also in this section, based off of your address, where you currently live, it will have information about different factors like housing stability in your area, the average level of education in your area, crime risk in your area, and all of these factors are compared to the national and the state levels. So like I mentioned, it helps to provide context about where you are growing up. And then finally, in the student profile, it also has your education history. So what high school did you attend, the name. Some students may move around, so they might have multiple schools there. Some students may do summer programs or community college courses, so they may have those schools there and not just their high school listed. The next tab you can see is the school profile or school profile PDF. So here, similar to the student profile, it is a lot of information about the school that you attended for high school. So this tab might include details like your high school location, your high school type, whether it's a public school, private school, and also your senior class size. Similar to the student profile, giving factors revolving around the area that you grew up in, the school profile also has those factors. The paths that many students go to, whether students at this high school typically go to 4-year institutions, 2-year institutions, or straight into the workforce. For the school PDF, this is separate from the school profile. Some schools have that PDF and some don't. For a lot of in-state California schools, the counselors have this PDF, so it is a part of your application. But I would say if you're an out-of-state student, this school PDF might be something you want to talk to your guidance counselors at your school, because this is a multi-page PDF that is created by your school, created by the guidance counselors, sort of like those advertisements you see for private schools that basically tout all of the amazing things about your school. The school PDF typically has a lot of information about the classes offered, the clubs offered. So it is similar to the regular school profile, but the school PDF does give more information. Next up, we have the academic profile, which, similar to the school profile, also talks about the academics available at your high school. So there's a little chart that goes into the number of courses that you've taken at your school. For the UC application, they denote courses as like A through G courses. So this chart will let the admissions reader know how many A through G courses you've taken, how many AP courses you've taken, how many IB courses you've taken, how many honors courses you've taken, and how many college level courses you've taken. It also lists the number of those kinds of courses available at your high school. So you may only have 5 AP classes available, then the admissions readers would know that information. So if you took 5 out of 5 APs, it looks really, really good. So it's not always about the number of AP classes that you take. Oh, I took 15, I took 20, compared to students who were only taking, say, 5, but only 5 APs were offered at that school. So this chart helps to give more context, more background information, how many courses of that type are offered, so how many AP courses are offered, honors courses, IB courses, and then the chart also talks about if there are any limits for courses that you can take. So for some high schools, they may limit the number of AP courses that you can take to 2 a year or something, so that would also be noted. So then when you're looking at the total number of AP courses this student took, you can see, okay, this school offers X number of courses and they're limited to 2 courses a year, so then that total number would make more sense. And then also on your academic profile page, it has your GPA, weighted and unweighted. For UC, it already gets rid of your 9th grade year. The next section is exams. So for the UC application, your exams and grades are all self-reported, so you are inputting that data on your own. You don't need to send any verification of these scores until you're actually admitted, and then they would verify the grades and scores that you inputted to make sure that you were not lying. So for exams, you could self-report your AP scores, IB scores, other kinds of tests, like if you've taken English language tests like the TOEFL. Next up, you have the grade section for yourself. You also self-report your grades. These are for the classes that you've taken 9th, 10th, 11th, and the start of your 12th grade year. So you are inputting all of the data for the classes that you've taken, labeling them honors, AP, if they're advanced or not, and then inputting the grades that you got in those courses, whether it's by year at your school school by quarter or by semester. So you want to 100% double check this section. Do not make any mistakes so you aren't called out as falsifying your grades. Make sure this is correct. You are listing your classes correctly. Don't leave anything blank, and make sure your grades are inputted correctly. Next up, we have the activities section, which is also very important, similar to the grades section. So you don't want to skip this section or leave it blank as well. So in the activities section, you would be able to write about the activities you've participated in high school. So you could talk about your extracurriculars, volunteering, any honors or awards that you've had, and activities like if you've had a job. So in this section, you would be listing these activities as well as the number of hours per week that you're involved in this activity, how many weeks out of the year are you involved in this activity, and for how many years have you been involved in this activity. You also have a little area to describe each activity, giving more background information in these little blurbs to help explain what your activity is. Next up, we get to the essay section. So for the UC PIQs, it is just your 4 PIQs listed on the page, one after the other, has the prompt at the top, has your essay, and then it goes into the next prompt, next essay. So the essays, also very, very important part of your college application. Probably the thing in your college app that will take the most time, writing, brainstorming, editing, planning these essays. So it's something that you want to start early and begin working on now that it's the summertime before you go back to school. Essays, very important. I have a lot of other videos on my channel talking specifically about tips for essays and essay writing, so I'll have that playlist linked below. Definitely check those out. And then finally, the last tab, if you have any letters of recommendation that were requested for the UCs, those would appear there in PDF format that your teacher submitted. For Berkeley specifically, they aren't mandatory letters of recommendation, but the school will reach out to you if they are requesting letters, versus like the common application, all of those are mandatory letters of rec that you would have to submit with your original application. So yeah, those are all of the tabs that the admissions officers would see when they are reviewing your college applications. If you have any questions about anything, definitely leave a comment down below. If you had any videos that you wanted to see me do, also leave a comment below. If you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Good luck starting your college application process. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you all next time.